So here we are back after a brief intermission between the girls and the boys. Ravenwood starting lineup underway. Expecting a ruckus crowd here tonight. Jacob, we got the full student section for Nolensville, and we're seated right behind the Ravenwood student section in what promises to be an exciting matchup here between two teams that are separated by about 6 miles.
Yeah, a strong rivalry game for both of these teams. There's going to be a lot of passion and a lot of excitement going into this. I think both teams are going to play as hard as they have this season.
You got to love those basketball warm-up pants Ravenwood got, the red and white stripes. You know, when I first saw it, I thought they beat up Colonel Sanders and took his outfit, but looking pretty good, I must say.
Haven't seen breakaway pants like that in a long time.
It's unique for sure. So Nolensville comes in with a record of 14-3. Ravenwood stands at 9-6, and like we mentioned earlier, sometimes you just got to throw the records away when you have crosstown rivals squaring off, and so I'm excited to see just exactly how this one plays out. If the crowd will get involved, the gym's pretty full here.
Ravenwood coming off a big win this Tuesday against Columbia after a 4-game losing streak. They're looking to keep their momentum going, and they are trying to get their first regional win this year.
Coach Hooper for Ravenswood, a former colleague of mine at Laverne High School where he coached basketball there. Hooper, I've known him for years, good guy. Let's see what he can do against what's probably the favorite here tonight, Nolensville, the Knights, led by number 11, Chris Johnson, senior.
Yeah, an impact player tonight for the Knights. Number 2, Brody Cooper, was on JV as a junior just last season, kept his head down, kept grinding, and has now become a starter for the Knights.
Nolensville wins the tip, works the perimeter. Johnson inside dish is blocked. Back into Johnson, easy basket. They might want to do something in that lane if they want Johnson to not drop 25 on him here in this game.
Yeah, that first block was number 25 for the Raptors, Sam Steppen, the guy from California, coming off of 2 MVPs at Pioneer High School in the Bay Area up in California. Him and Beckett Williams both coming from California for this season at Ravenwood.
Nolensville goes for the quick steal, nothing there. Number 3 for the Raptors in. That's going to be Braden White with the bucket, junior, 5'8".
Yeah, a lot of young talent on that Ravenwood girls team. The same thing on their guys team. They're young, but they're experienced.
Johnson, good dish to fellow senior Brody Cooper on the 2. Fast-paced action here to start off the night. No pun intended.
Johnson, really that X-factor guy for the Knights. Whitlock talking earlier this week, talking about how Johnson's always been the X-factor when he's had to scout this team specifically.
33 for the Raptors. That's going to be Isaac Brent on the fadeaway. 6'4" senior. Draws it even at 4.
Yeah, Ravenwood, their paint presence is known. They make themselves known. They're a physical team, and they're going to try to hurt Johnson when he's backing people down in that paint.
Nolensville working the ball around. Ball's out to McKelvey. McKelvey looks, gets it cross court to number 14. That's going to be Beckett Gray. Drops the 3. Pushes it to 7-4, Knights lead.
Beckett Gray's been super helpful for this team. Rylan McKelvey gets the steal and gets fouled.
Hard foul there, number 3, Braden White. McKelvey thought he had 2 easy points. Instead, he's going to go to the line and shoot 2.
McKelvey, the transfer from Centennial, coming for his senior season. Coach Goodice for the Knights talked about how important it was to have McKelvey on his team and not on Centennial hitting big shots against them.
McKelvey sinks his first. And his second drops, makes quick work of that, pushes the lead to 5. Just like that, Knights are up 9-4.
Nolensville, a heavy favorite coming into this game with their impressive start to the season. A lot of their losses coming from really strong teams, most recently Page. And that's a bucket for number 2 on Ravenwood, Will McCarter.
McKelvey dishes it to Johnson inside. Johnson backs him down. Backdoor window there. No good. Johnson on the glass. Cleans it up. Misses. Pushed out, but Ravenwood on the rebound. For the 3, just like that, the score is tied off of the 3 from Isaac Brent.
And not only can Brent be a big physical presence in the paint, he can shoot that 3 ball, and he just showed that there. He's going to make this Knights defense really struggle to try to guard him all night.
Double team McKelvey up top. He dishes it out. Back to McKelvey. Has it stolen by number 3. Braden White with the pump gets McKelvey to jump. Sinks the easy 2, and for the first time of the night, Ravenwood has the lead, 11-9.
Yeah, White only 5'8" compared to guys like Ryland McKelvey, and he's forcing turnovers. He's got another quick transition.
No good on the initial, no good on the follow. Ravenwood just trying to settle it down, back-to-back steals.
Just looking at it from up here, you can tell the size advantage that Nolensville has. But this Ravenwood team is playing so physical to start. Braden White, 5'8", already 3 steals in this game. He's becoming one of the most important parts of this Ravenwood defense.
A lot of emotion early on here for the home Raptors. Nolensville just trying to settle it down. Inside to the big man, 32. That's going to be Brooke Wisner. Drops the bucket. Raptors with their biggest lead of the night, 4.
It's an 8-0 run for the Raptors. Taking the momentum, their section is getting louder and louder as this game's gone on. Johnson's going to need to take over for this Nolensville team to start getting momentum back.
Inside off of his own miss, number 2, Brody Cooper. Breaks the run by the Raptors, and at your first timeout, and what's been almost too fast for me to call, Raptors lead 13-11 with 3:14 left in what has been a fast-paced, action-filled first quarter.
Yeah, in my conversation earlier this week with Coach Gadice, he really praised Brody Cooper and the way that he has earned his way to the top. Junior on JV, uncommon to see him getting any minutes as a senior on varsity, and he's become probably the second guy for this Nolensville team right after Chris Johnson.
Well, it looks like Nolensville's really just trying to clamp down on Johnson and eliminate him from beating him. And right now, Nolensville just hasn't done a great job of figuring out how to move the ball around for him to clear things up. McKelvey had 2 quick turnovers, which led to that scoring run.
Yeah, Nolensville needs to open up the perimeter. They need to scare Ravenwood and make sure that they are guarding the perimeter. You want to see Riley McKelvey, you want to see Brody Cooper out on the perimeter taking shots. In their loss to Brentwood earlier, just last Friday, they shot only 27% from the 3, and now you see a ref down.
We just had an collision. Official goes down hard. Think he may have rolled his ankle.
Trainer's coming out to look at the ref.
There was a call there before the official went down. I'm not sure what the call was. It happened so fast.
Yeah, I think the focus right now is just making sure the official is up and hopefully able to walk this injury off. You see him stretching his knee out, see what he can do, and put pressure on.
So Raptors lead 13-11, 3:03 left in the first period. The applause you may hear in the background, the official's up moving around. I think he's going to make it. I think he took a fall, looks okay.
Yeah,
Players go over and give him a little bit of a hard time there, but it looks like he's going to be all right. Trying to sort out who exactly has possession and what the call was.
Yeah, this Nolensville team is going to have to use their size to their advantage. That's where they excel the most. You see number 23 for Ravenwood. That's going to be Danny Brown. He is a big physical football player for this team, and that's what they're going to try to use against this smaller, in a muscular standpoint, Nolensville team.
Ravenwood on the turnover, had a good backdoor pass, just didn't go through. B.J. Hall is going to take the ball up for the Knights.
B.J. Hall in his first game returning from injury. Just confirming that he's going to be playing this morning. He's a crucial part for this team, and he's someone that they haven't had for a couple of weeks. Surprise,
turnover Knights.
Kickball there. Braden White looking for options.
Easy basket there for the Raptors. 23, that's going to be Danny Brown.
And Coach Hooper really emphasized that this Ravenwood team went to state and had to get their football players on this basketball team late. And that's a big block from Ryland McKelvey, the transfer from Centennial. As I was saying, Coach Hooper really emphasized not getting these Ravenwood football players in until late, and Danny Brown is one of those guys. It took him a second to integrate in, and they didn't have as much time as some of the other guys that have been working out since September and even August.
The best word for Ravenwood tonight is just relentless. They've gone at these Nolensville offensive players and just forced turnover after turnover. Nolensville just looked unsettled from the start, and they're just looking for some breathing room on offense.
Yeah, and Coach Gedice's key to win was winning the board battle for Nolensville, and that's what they're trying to do as Cooper puts up a three in the corner.
Three ball up, no good. Dishes it out. B.J. Hall there for the three, no good. Rebound Ravenwood, and they go quickly up court. They dish it out for the three, and that's going to be nothing but net. Number 11, Brooks Brown.
Brown, not a guy who started every game, but he has been so useful for this Ravenwood team down the stretch from the three-point line. His perimeter play has become so important for this Ravenwood team as they try to drive to the basket. He is such a good out guy for them, and he makes a lot of his shots.
There's an appearance by Chris Johnson. He's been kind of on a milk cart in the last couple minutes. Has the tip in there to draw the lead to 5 points. Raptors lead 18-13.
Finally getting their 6'10" big man into the swing of things. There, he's a forward, but he plays every position on the court. He knows how to facilitate this offense. Another bucket for Sam Steppen, the guy from California. Ravenwood holds a 7-point lead with 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Johnson spins, and it's in.
Another two for Johnson there. I believe that's 6 points for the first quarter for Johnson. He needs to reappear in a big way, both offensively and defensively. They've left the paint open on the other side of the court.
And Johnson's a finesse guy in the paint. He doesn't necessarily use his size and power, but he uses the finesse that he has, and that's why that spin move has been so helpful. And that's a block for Johnson as we're talking about him.
Ravenwood not able to turn out the quarter on two, but they're up by 5. And what has been mostly a disappointing quarter for the Knights, coming in here as the favorite. But we knew going in it would be a close contest between crosstown rivals.
Yeah, everyone in the building up on their feet. There's a lot of momentum swinging towards the Raptors simply due to this large student section that's just to our right. They are able to play with so much aggression and so much passion, and you can see that in they swarm every loose ball, and it's really been so important for how they've forced Nolensville to get off their feet. They're unsettled. They don't know what's going on, and they're trying to adjust right now.
Well, Nolensville, they've filled up an entire section for the student section over there. It looks to be some sort of blackout from the Nolensville Knights.
Yeah, and something Coach Gadice really emphasized earlier this week was getting downhill for this Nolensville team, getting quick transitions is what's opening up the opportunities for Chris and Brody to really work inside. Getting the ball, there's so much emphasis on Chris Johnson. They're able to push the ball to Brody Cooper on the outside. They've got Rylan McKivley. So many guys that can do it from the three-point line. They need to focus on getting quick transitions and getting steals on defense.
Well, in the first quarter comes to a close, and Johnson and McKelvey played the entire first quarter. And here they are back out again to start the second.
Ravenwood almost running this offense with number 23, Danny Brown, as a mid-range goes up for number 11, Brooks Brown. No good. Rebound by Ravenwood.
Easy rebound, Johnson, but they are just not letting them be clean. Every time there's a rebound, there's a hand swatting the ball.
And I think one thing this Nolensville team is doing so far this game is they're rushing their possessions. They're not slowing the game down. They're really forcing these possessions to end quick, and we saw that in Tucker Powers in that last shot, missing a wide open layup. They're just rushing this offensive attack, and they're not letting this team settle.
Coach Gadice, you could see on the sideline calling. He wanted more pressure on the offensive player, and he just wasn't getting it. And there again, more points in the paint for the Raptors. Drew Parker drops a quick 2.
Yeah, and something we expected from Ravenwood was actually not points in the paint. We expected a lot of mid-range. We expected a lot of three-pointers, but they've really dominated the paint so far, and even the glass, which is something we expect Chris Johnson to really focus on.
Nolensville just trying to find some rhythm on offense, settling it down, dishes it out. It's number 4, Tucker Powers. Powers out to McKelvey. McKelvey out to Carroll.
Carroll, not a guy who's talked about a whole lot, but a guy that really passes the ball well, averaging almost 6 assists per game.
McKelvey can't get it to fall, and the basket is just closed on the Nolensville side of the court, it seems.
Ravenwood a 7-point lead with 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Something no one expected. Nolensville was a heavy favorite going into this game, and Nolensville looking for their first win in regional play after a loss to Brentwood last Friday. Brooks Brown looking for an open opportunity. Caudle, top of the key.
Ravenwood moving the ball around, just looking for the right possession.
Brooks Brown again for an easy floater. Ravenwood finding every open opportunity possible, and this Nolensville team just looks like they're sleeping out there. McKelvey puts up a 3. No good. Rebounded Ravenwood.
Ravenwood's got to be shooting somewhere near 700. They haven't missed much, whereas Nolensville couldn't buy a basket right now. Just ice cold.
Good backdoor cut by Will. McCarter there, unfortunately, couldn't get a grasp on the ball. It's going to be ball Nolensville. Nolensville not finding the open shot. They're either forcing a 3 or taking a contested mid-range or even a layup. They need to use their 6'10" big man and Chris Johnson. They need to use their size and get open shots, and if they're contested, it has to be a layup.
Well, and Gadice on the side telling his kids to just settle it down. But I don't know if I'd be telling them to settle it down. I'd be telling them to fire it up because they are looking flat. Johnson double teamed quickly. Dishes it outside. Gray out to McKelvey. McKelvey back into Johnson on the inside. No room for Johnson. Gets the rebound.
And see, that's just an unnecessary pass from Johnson there. He had a wide open path to the rim. That's where we have to put up the 2s. It's not going to be 3s only to get back in this game. I know they're down 9. 3 threes gets them back, but that's not how they're going to win this game. That is too inefficient, and Johnson just has to go to the basket there.
Cooper backs down on the inside. Again, doesn't fall. Not open for business just yet. McKelvey with a big block on the big man, follows it up with an air ball.
Nolensville
Brock Wismer tried to force it in, had nothing. Nolensville quickly down court. McKelvey from a deep three. Just not feeling it right now.
McKelvey's been known to make shots late in the game. He hits those clutch shots. But if he can't get into a rhythm, that's not going to happen. They're not going to have the opportunity to hit a clutch shot right now. Ravenwood up 9. 3 minutes 40 remaining.
Well, and just like that, the ice has kind of grown on the Ravenwood rim as well, as they've missed 3 shots now in a row.
Both teams struggling offensively to find open baskets and even just making those open baskets. And Nolensville gets the first free throws of the game.
Well, it didn't go in, but Nolensville is going to have to do just that. They're going to have to pressure that inside and draw fouls, even if the baskets aren't going in, because they're not hitting from the outside. So at least McKelvey there took it strong to the basket. He's going to shoot 2. Misses his first one.
Yeah, and we saw in the game earlier, missing these free throws is how you get down big. Not taking the points that Ravenwood gives to you is going to be a problem for this Nolensville team, especially with guys like Sam Steppen on Ravenwood who are playing consistent all night.
McKelvey hits his second. That's the first point Nolensville has sniffed in almost 4 minutes. Ravenwood shoots the 3. Swish.
Matt Nava, one of the most dangerous guys in the county from the three-point line, has been so big for them from the perimeter all season, averaging almost 3 threes per game.
Hill in and out. Ravenwood pushes the floor. McKelvey with the dish, and 1.
Ravenwood taking a 13-point lead with a free throw to come, 3 minutes remaining in the first half, and this is something no one expected coming into tonight.
Ravenwood's looking for a blowout here, up by 13 early. Still a lot of game to play. Nolensville calls a timeout. 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Ravenwood 29, Nolensville 16. Nolensville stunned here in what was anticipated to be not as much of a battle tonight.
Nolensville going to have to rethink their game plan because nothing is working for them, whether it's offense or defense. The only thing keeping them in the game right now is the Raptors missing, to be honest. The Raptors have had a lot of shots that they could have made, and Nolensville's not hitting those shots, and that's what's putting them down 13 with a free throw to go for the Raptors with 3 minutes remaining in this first half.
You know, sometimes teams just aren't a good match, whereas Nolensville seems to be a finesse team, work your way in, take good shots. But really what's happening tonight is Ravenwood is just out hustling in every phase of the game. They're out hustling Nolensville, and it's why you have a 13-point deficit right now. The smaller guys are out hustling the bigger guys for rebounds. They're getting open on the threes, and they're hitting their shots. And Nolensville is just bewildered right now.
And that's similar to how Ravenwood had games earlier this season, lost to Independence twice so far. Independence, one of the smaller teams in the county. Sometimes these teams just don't match up well. And this Nolensville team, if they don't pick it up, it's going to look like that's going to happen tonight.
Hill drives underneath. Nothing there. Passes it out to McKelvey. McKelvey's going to look. He drives. And there you go. I said it earlier. That's exactly what needs to happen. McKelvey drives, drops 2, and drops the lead to 11.
Looked like a bit of contact there, surprisingly not called, but McKelvey is one of the best drivers in the county, and he does such a great job at getting to the rim and making these tough baskets when there's a lot of guys in his face. Sam Steppen checking back in for the Raptors, coming off a 15-point night against Columbia just this Tuesday after breaking their 3-game losing streak. White gives it to Nava. Nava for 3, and it's good. A deep 3 for Nava. Goes in, his second 3 of the night. He's now got 6 points.
Nava shot that from behind the scorer's table there, it seemed like, and that was nothing but net. Ill-advised leaving him open alone like that. Johnson looks on the inside, cannot get it to fall. Raptors up by 14.
That was that Caitlin Clark range you were talking about earlier. Steppen, 3 in the corner, no good. Rebounded by Ravenwood. There's just more hustle from this Ravenwood team.
Wismer just out-hustled 3 Nolensville players under the glass to get the rebound. Hill on the steal, couldn't get the ball cleanly.
Brody Cooper fouled on the play, taking a little bit to get up. It looks like his left hand is hurting him a little bit.
I think Nolensville was looking for a technical on that one because that was a pretty hard foul on number 3.
Yeah, his left hand doesn't look like it's doing too well right now. He's holding it, he's stretching it a lot. And this is a big player for them. Brody Cooper becomes such a strong piece for this team late in the season after a junior season where he stayed on JV.
Shooting 2 will be the Knights, trying to bring it to 20 here. First shot up and good. Needed some assistance from the backboard and the rim.
Trying to cut the deficit to 12 on a, quite frankly, we thought would be the opposite. We thought Nolensville was going to be the one up 12 early.
Second shot is up and no good. Nolensville gets the rebound. Out to McKelvey. McKelvey looks. Back down to number 2, no good. Rebounded by Nolensville. Johnson up, no good. Johnson again gets his rebound and that time puts it in. Cuts the lead to 11.
Something I want to point out there is Brody Cooper went up with his left hand. He got hit pretty hard. He's still stretching it a little bit, but looking a lot healthier now. Nava for 3, no good. Rebounded Nolensville. They're going to try to get the ball in quick transition here.
Nolensville pushing the floor with under a minute left. Inside to Johnson. Johnson back dishes it out. Back out to Hill. Hill looks. Nolensville shoots the 3, no good. Hill tries to get the tap, or McKelvey rather, tries to get the tap in. Doesn't get it. 36 seconds left here in the first half.
Steppen looking for a 3. Finds Nava.
Hill tried to get the steal, but got called for a foul.
Hall gets subbed out after that one. Looks like number 10, Luke Carroll, going to sub in for him.
Nolensville can't let a basket fall here with 25 seconds left. They've got to try to keep it near 10 points so they can get some kind of rally in the second half. Ravenwood trying to set it up.
Ravenwood looking to have the final possession so far. Knights going to have to do something special. Number 2, Will McCarter for 3. No good. It's going to be
out of bounds. Nolensville is going to have about 13 seconds to make something happen.
And it looks like they're going to target Johnson here going up the court. It's going to be McKelvey, Johnson, Cooper. One of those guys is going to have the final shot here. It just depends on who they're going to look for. If they're going to look for a shot in the paint.
10 seconds. Got a quick foul there. 8.6 seconds left here. A 3 would be huge.
3's not falling too well for the Knights so far tonight. Their guy from the 3 in right now is Cooper and McKelvey. If you see go to one of those guys, it's probably going to be a 3.
Deep 3, and that's going to be an air ball. So after the first half, Raptors 32, Knights 21. Ravenwood just came out all over the court.
Really a shocking start so far. I don't think anyone saw an 11-point lead to Ravenwood going into the half here. Really impressive to see how physical they've played.
Well, and you'll have to see how it ends here with us on your WCTV Game of the Week. Doug Capella with Jacob Hammer. We'll see you after the half. All right, here we are back, second half, and what was an unexpected first half for Nolensville as they take possession and they are down by a score of 32-21. Really had a hard time hitting the bottom of the rim for a large chunk of the second quarter.
Yeah, this deficit mainly coming from just missed shots that they've been making all season, and that's what it can come down to. If they don't make their normal shots, it's not going to happen.
Well, and that's a way to start the half. An and one there, drops 2 points and is going to go to the free throw line is number 10 for the Knights, Luke Carroll.
Carroll been a undermined guy all year. People have looked over him. They have not recognized how important he is for this team, but he is so physical, and he is so good from the three-point line, and that's where he excels.
Carroll, the son of Lipscomb University's head basketball coach. A lot of coaches' kids on these teams, it seems like.
Yeah, they've grown up around the game. They've grown up with mentors of the game, and that's really how you get better, having so many helpful people in your life.
Bad turnover on the inbounds pass there for Ravenwood. They call a timeout. They've seen enough of these, what has been 26 seconds of sloppy play here.
Yeah, the Nolensville section getting louder and louder. It looks like momentum is coming back and life is coming back into this team. Great start to start the second half for Nolensville, and Ravenwood's going to really try to get rid of that momentum as fast as they can, because Nolensville can easily make a 10-0 run, and we've seen that happen before.
As bad as the Knights have played, they hit a 3 off of this possession, and they're down by 6. We'll see what happens as after the timeout. It looks like Nolensville, though, just wants to kind of slow it down and get back into the rhythm of their offense and not force baskets, which led to a lot of turnovers in the first half.
Nolensville coming out after halftime pretty late, not getting any warm-up in. You wonder what Coach Gadice was telling his players in the locker room, trying to get them back into a groove for the second half.
Well, after how that first half went down, I have a few things that come to mind of what he said to him in the locker room. But we'll see. It seems to have worked up to this point as they seem much more efficient and calm would be the word I would say. Johnson tries to get the shot to fall and misses off of what was almost a turnover. And just like that, Raptors go down to the floor. Quick shot and a miss there by Ravenwood, and McKelvey pushes the ball down court, tries to get the tip, and it does. The lead by Ravenwood cut to 7, 25-32.
And that's where McKelvey thrives. He is such a physical guard. He gets to the rim with so much power and so much force. He gets anyone out of his way, and he's able to move the ball and move his hands around and get the ball perfectly in, and that's just such an impressive play by McKelvey there.
Wismar tries to block or push Johnson down and go with the left hand. It doesn't fall. Inside to Johnson, there's a turnover. Ravenwood pushes it down, gets the block, and the pass goes errant and out of bounds. Nolensville finding the hustle that Ravenwood had in the first half, looking to close the lead here on this possession to just 5. Currently down by 7 are the Knights. Carroll brings the ball up, dishes it inside to Johnson. Johnson looks to the outside. Out to McKelvey. McKelvey inside. And there's going to be a foul on number 33 for the Raptors. That's going to be Isaac Brent.
In that last game, we saw a lot more whistles in the second half than the first. You wonder if they're going to keep that pattern going. These refs had a lot of calls in the first. We saw a lot of free throws in that first half. You only know if that's going to go up from here. This game's getting a lot more physical.
They try to throw it high to Johnson. Pass is no good. Quick turnover. Raptors capitalize, push the lead back to 10. And Carroll right back up court, seemingly unfazed. McKelvey looking to take the game over. Both baskets don't drop. Nolensville settles it back down. Carroll at the top. Ball inside to Johnson. Johnson dishes it back out. Back up top to Carroll. Carroll back out to the wing. Shot is up and good. There's the 3 Nolensville's been looking for all night. Cuts the lead to 6.
Yeah, in these first 3 minutes of the second half, Carroll's been super conservative from the three-point line. He's had a lot of open looks that he's not taking, and that's exactly why he needs to take them. He's such a crucial player for this team. When he shoots that 3 ball, he needs to keep that going. Now getting his first points of the night. Nolensville not letting the Raptors get into a rhythm to start this second half.
McKelvey dishes it out. That's going to be an offensive foul on the Raptors. Coach Hooper not liking what he's seeing over there on the side, giving a little talk to the officials.
This Nolensville section getting really loud, letting the Raptors know what they're doing, not letting anyone get in the way of them making this comeback.
Two things for Nolensville. They are content with letting Carroll guide the offense up the court, and McKelvey has come out determined the second half, driving the lane, and again, right inside the McKelvey. McKelvey dishes to Johnson. Johnson up and in. The lead is now down to 4. Ravenwood looking a little shook for the first time since early moments of the first quarter.
Ravenwood defense starting to slip up a little more.
And another turnover just like that. Carroll looking up court, slows it down, dishes it to McKelvey. McKelvey looks, dishes it outside. Back to McKelvey up top. McKelvey out to Carroll. Carroll back to McKelvey. Carroll wide open for the 3. It's up. Bounces in and out, no good. And there is Ravenwood on the rebound.
Yeah, and that shot from Carroll might not have gone in, but this Ravenwood defense is getting sloppy. We saw 3 guys getting stuck in the paint on that play, leaving Carroll wide open. They cannot get sloppy. The way they won this first half was by staying aggressive and swarming the ball when they needed to, and we haven't seen that yet this second half.
Well, and I said it early on, they've done everything to stop Johnson, which they've held him to about 8 points. But what Nolensville had to do was get other contributors involved, and Carroll is one of those kids that can definitely shoot the 3 and make some baskets.
Yeah, you hope McKelvey would take this game over a little more than he has so far. He's been the big guy after Johnson so far for this team. You just know he's going to pull something off late in this game that's going to show why he is such a great player in this county.
Carroll to Gray outside. Gray back to Carroll. Carroll out to McKelvey. McKelvey back out to Carroll. Carroll looks, thought about it, gives it back to McKelvey. Back out to Carroll from Johnson. Johnson to McKelvey. McKelvey looks and gets called for the travel.
McKelvey just a little icy so far this game. Hasn't gotten into a rhythm. Hasn't hit those deep threes that he's been looking for. And hasn't been able to drive and get to the paint as much as you would have liked to see previously.
Lead down to 4 for the Raptors. It's almost as if the floor got flipped at halftime because Nolensville looks every bit of what Ravenwood looked like for a good way through, midway through the first, through the second quarter.
Steppen, no good. He's become pretty icy to start this quarter. He's a guy that scored 15 against Columbia just this Tuesday. That's a guy you'd expect to make these kind of mid-range shots.
Call on the floor goes. McKelvey's fouled as he drives the lane.
Looks like a push on number 11, Brooks Brown, for the Raptors. Brody Cooper, number 2, checking in for Nolensville, taking out McKelvey.
Gray to inbound to Johnson. Johnson's looking. Out to Hall. Hall back to Powers. Back to Hall. Hall to Powers. Power to Hall. Back to Powers. Inside dish is no good.
Cooper came off a little strong there, just wasn't able to get the finesse to put that ball in the basket. He now guards Steppen as Steppen runs up the court off to White. White to Brown. Brown looking for a man, has Danny Brown in the paint, out to Steppen. Steppen to the corner for 3. No good.
Off the rim and the backboard, no good. Ravenwood on the rebound.
Johnson gets a hand on the pass. It's going to be Raptors ball on their side of the court. Raptors 34, Nolensville 30 with 1:56 remaining in this third quarter.
Kind of ice cold on both ends of the court. Not a lot of scoring in the last couple minutes here. McKelvey, checks back in for the Knights.
Something to note for this Ravenwood team, Brooks and Danny Brown both coming from Lipscomb Academy. This their first year off a transfer.
Steppen on the quick 2 there. Pushes the lead back to 8. Or correction, 6. Hall running the offense from the top. Thought about the 3. Decides to hold and pass. Inside to Johnson. Johnson back out to Hall. Hall out to McKelvey. Working the perimeter back to Hall. Hall shoots a three. It looks like it got tipped. Wide open three there for number 4. That's going to be Tucker Powers, in and out, doesn't fall. Ravenwood gets the rebound.
Yeah, and those are shots you normally see go in for this team. Nolensville is a high percentage shooting team even when it's from the perimeter, and these shots are just not falling for them today, and that's what's gotten them to this point of being down 3. Danny Brown, spin move, behind the back, foul on the Knights. Brown's gonna have 2 shots.
Yeah, if that fell, that would have been a big blow for the Knights, who've really rallied in this second quarter and brought it within 6.
And
that would
Brown
have pushed it to 8 and a shot, so we'll see if Brown can make his 3 free throw here. First one falls, pushes the lead to 7, 37-30.
Brown really represents the physicality of this Ravenwood team. He is such a big guy, and he does such a good job at getting into the paint, forcing people to get out of his way, and even doing finesse moves like that spin move we just saw.
Second shot up and no good off the front of the rim. McKelvey in control of the ball. Just under 50 seconds left here in what has been a very fast-paced, quick third quarter. Another foul on Ravenwood. That's 4 already here through the third quarter.
42.5 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Ravenwood 37, Nolensville 30. A 7-point lead for the underdogs so far.
42 seconds left to go here. Hall is going to go to the line and shoot 2. First shot up and good, cuts the lead to 6.
You can almost hear the Nolensville student section louder than the Ravenwood, and Ravenwood's right in front of us. This game has flipped the script entirely from what this first half was.
Hall shooting his second. Shot is up and it's good. Lead cut to 5. 42 seconds left.
I believe that's the smallest lead since the end of the first quarter.
Ravenwood forced to call a timeout there because they're about to get an inbounds clock penalty.
Ravenwood just entirely off of their groove so far. Hasn't had any chance to make a rhythm and start hitting their shots. None of their players can get shots to go down. The rim is closed for Ravenwood so far, and maybe it's just that side of the court.
You know, I believe Ravenwood's only scored 3 points this quarter. Correction, 5 points. They had 32 at the half. So 5 points in the second quarter.
Both teams just not making shots they typically do. A lot of open floaters, a lot of open shots from the 3, just not falling for both of these teams who have pretty consistent players. This is a low-scoring game for, I think, both of these teams, especially for Nolensville.
And well, with 42 seconds left in the quarter, both teams are going to have an opportunity here to close out with a basket. And what it does say is this fourth quarter is going to be action-packed for sure.
And that's where I think McKelvey's going to come in for this Nolensville team. He has been kind of slow so far this game, but he is known specifically for hitting these shots late in the game, and that's why Gedice was so excited to have him join the team this year.
Ravenwood got the ball inbounded. Hall trying for the steal, and there's the foul call.
Hall, I believe, looking for a travel there or even an over the top.
It looked like Hall fouled him about 3 times, but he only got called for 1.
36 to go in this third quarter. Ravenwood up 5 on a game that has not gone how everyone expected it to so far.
Gerald checks back in for the Knights. May get an opportunity for a 3 look here as the third quarter draws close to a close.
Ravenwood looking for the last possession.
15 seconds left. Five seconds left. Ravenwood sinks to 2 right there at the end of the quarter. That's going to push the lead to 7.
Nolensville chopping into the lead a little bit in that third quarter, getting it down to 7 points. Still not exactly what they want to see, but they started that third quarter off pretty hot. And if they can do that same thing for the fourth quarter, we're going to have a tight game at the end.
Well, and that's exactly what Nolensville needed to do during that third quarter. They had a bit of a mountain to climb because of how sloppy they played during the second quarter, but they did exactly what they needed to do. They got the lead back down in the single digits, 39-32. They kept the tempo up and they put the pressure on Ravenwood. And if they can duplicate that, it's going to be an exciting finish here for the WCTV Game of the Week, featuring Ravenwood 39 hosting the Knights 32.
Yeah, and a lot of this comeback's been made by the unsung heroes for this Knights team. Tucker Powers, a guy who's had a big impact so far, just a junior. Now, Luke Carroll, sophomore. These are two guys, kind of unsung heroes for this team that have become really important.
You know, it's funny, at the end of the first quarter, I think it was 15-12, and I was like, man, this game's going to be in the 80s. And here it is in the fourth quarter. It's 39-32.
Yeah, both teams playing so physical on defense, and these refs letting them play physical. They've called fouls, but for the most part, this game has been above average on physicality.
Nolensville will get the ball to start the fourth quarter. Inbounds to Carroll, does McKelvey. Carroll over to Cooper. Cooper back to, Carroll. Carroll to McKelvey. McKelvey on the perimeter, back to Carroll. Johnson almost had the alley-oop dunk, but he got the foul, and he's going to shoot two.
Yeah, Johnson, that's a big part of his game. He had a couple dunks last Tuesday against Columbia. Had a dunk, got called for a technical foul last Friday against Brentwood for holding onto the rim.
Makes his first, cuts the lead to 6. Nava back in for the Raptors, who was a big catalyst on that second quarter run when he hit 2 straight threes. See if they can get him going here in the fourth quarter.
Nava, a guy that gets really hot when he's hot, but has to stay hot for them to stay in this game. If he starts missing, it's going to be a problem. But they need Brody Cooper to start picking this up. He's been pretty icy to start this game. If Cooper could get in a rhythm, that's where this Nolensville team is going to do well.
Sloppy drive there by the Raptors.
So much physicality in this game.
I'm not believing what I'm seeing. It looks like there's about 7 fouls on that play and not a single one called. Nava not even close on that 3 ball.
Look, these refs are letting these kids play. It looks like they're playing football out there.
I mean, McKelvey looked like he was mugged on that drive and nothing called.
Nothing can go for this Ravenwood team.
McKelvey out to Carroll. Carroll open from the line, decides to hold it. Shoots to the perimeter. 3 ball up and no good. Both sides just ice cold shooting.
Yeah, an extra pass there from Gray has McKelvey wide open on the wing. Surprised that that didn't happen. But these are shots that guys like Gray normally make.
Johnson out here on Nava.
Not entirely sure what the call there is, but we're going to have 3 substitutions for the Raptors. A lot of the bench coming on. Steppen coming back in the game, the leading scorer for this Raptors team.
I really don't know what the call was right there.
Looks like they were just getting substitutions in. Not entirely sure what the ref was looking at there. Number 12, Brooks Caudill, the sophomore, kind of running the point for this Ravenwood team. A block for Chris Johnson, his 3rd of the game.
Under 6 minutes left here. 6-point game. 39-33, led by the Raptors.
Raptors really drawing out their possessions, wasting as much clock as possible. The Knights need to start picking up the pace here. And I think he just put his legs in that ball and rolled up.
So jump ball there. Possession goes to the Raptors. McKelvey checks in after a brief break out.
See on your screen the number 33, Isaac Brent, the 6'4" senior for this Raptors team. He's been such a strong focal point of this team in the paint, and his strength has really been able to box out and get the rebounds that they were really getting in that first half that they need to find in this second half.
Ravenwood drives, gets a clutch basket there. That's going to push the lead to 8.
Brent, now 9 points on the night, has become such a crucial player for this Raptors team. Nolensville having to come a 9-point deficit now.
Foul on Ravenwood. I believe that's going to be their second team foul.
Both teams could probably get called for a foul on almost every play I've seen so far. Lots of physicality so far in the second half.
The officials are for sure letting them play in this one.
Cooper going to be inbounding. We'll see if he tries to go to a man on the perimeter or tries to get Johnson down in the paint.
So just over 5 minutes to play. Nolensville down by 8. They're going to have to go on some sort of run here at some point and put some points together. They can't keep exchanging baskets.
Yeah, the shots are just not falling right now. They've had the opportunities. They could definitely be on a run. Shots are just not falling for them. They've got guys like Gray. They've got guys like Carroll. Shots are just simply not going in, and Johnson has not become the focal point that he has been this season.
Cooper set to inbound. Out to McKelvey. McKelvey looks for the 3, doesn't take it. Carroll inside to Johnson. Johnson out to Hall. Hall drives inside to Johnson. Johnson drops an easy 2.
Call that an announcer's curse. As I say it, Johnson puts up a big bucket to cut the lead down to 6.
Ravenwood really trying to stretch possessions here and run some clock off. Stepping out dish, block Johnson. Johnson blocks and gets the rebound.
Such a physical player on the glass. He loves getting those blocks and getting the rebounds after. It's so important for this Nolensville team to keep the ball in their hands and not let Ravenwood get it for too long.
Out to McKelvey. McKelvey looks, has Carroll to the right, gives it to Cooper. Cooper looks inside. McKelvey drives, can't get it, shoots an air ball, stepping on the rebound. Carroll up close on D. 4 minutes and counting.
Ravenwood has a big lineup in for their standards besides number 3, Braden White. They have some of the larger players on their team, and as you see, Danny Brown getting ready to sub in, probably the largest strength-wise player on their team.
Ravenwood looks content to just waste clock. They haven't even looked for a shot.
And Nolensville needs to recognize that. They need to get something going here. What they're doing is not working so far.
Ravenwood just took about a minute off of the clock right there and hit a 2-pointer.
And Braden White, the junior, one of the fastest players on the court, and let alone fast, he's so explosive. You saw him bounce off of that pump fake and just get straight to the mid-range. Such an impressive play for the 5'8" junior.
Ball doesn't fall for Nolensville. Ravenwood gets the rebound.
Yeah, that felt like a crucial possession there. It feels like them not making that is really going to be tough for Nolensville to make this comeback, especially after a make from number 3, Braden White, again becoming one of the best players on the court in the clutch.
McKelvey for 3, up and good, swish.
And we talked about that earlier. We knew McKelvey was going to come late in this game and come alive and start making shots. That's what he did at Centennial, and that's why Gedice was so afraid of him when he was at Centennial, and why he's so happy to have him on their roster now. McKelvey's going to be the guy to look at in these final moments when they're looking for threes down the stretch. 2 minutes and 36 remaining. The Raptors 45, the visiting Knights 38, and a 7-point lead for Ravenwood in this fourth quarter.
Gedice is going to have his players really up the pressure that they're applying on defense. They can't just let Ravenwood come down here and drain a minute off of the clock and then sink a 2-point basket. Yes. They've got to force some turnovers. You're probably going to start seeing some fouls here as it gets closer into the under 2-minute range.
And you really hope for Nolensville that their section starts getting louder. A lot of the time that noise can get in the head of the Ravenwood players. And right now it's quiet in that corner of the gym. And Ravenwood's just going along as they want. They don't have to go up for a bucket. They're not even looking for buckets half the time. They're getting 40, 50-second possessions, and that's not going to give Nolensville a chance to score these last 7 points that they need.
So Ravenwood, 2 minutes, 36 seconds to pull the upset over visiting Nolensville. Down by 7 are the Knights.
And we both know that this rivalry is big and anything can happen. Records do not matter in a game like this. And mind you, Ravenwood doesn't even have a bad record. Nolensville just has that great of a record that we set Ravenwood as this underdog.
Ravenwood gets the inbounds in. And there's the pressure we talked about and the foul.
Feels like we're going to see a lot of that in the next 2.5 minutes, trying to get guys like Danny Brown at the line who might not be as strong from the free throw line, trying to get anything they can going for this Nolensville team.
Yeah, this is going to be a long 2 minutes and 27 seconds for sure.
See BJ Hall there getting really physical. No call. Nolensville looking for a steal. Heaves it down court. Wide open under the basket. And an and one for Ravenwood. A chance to go up 10 with 2 minutes and 13 seconds remaining. A heavy foul from Ryland McKelvey there.
Yeah, McKelvey hustled down and tried to get the block, and Wismar was able to get the 2 and the foul. And that's going to push the lead to 9. If Wismar hits this 10, that's almost... I mean, we're getting to the point where there's just not going to be enough time on the clock left to make this comeback.
Yeah, and Wismar looks tired, and he is struggling. He's got his hands on his knees, and he's still making these shots, especially under pressure like that from Ryland McKelvey.
Wismar misses his shot, so lead still 9. McKelvey pushing it down court. Over to Carroll. Carroll back to McKelvey. McKelvey to Johnson. Johnson to Gray. Gray over to Carroll. Bad pass across the court. Goes out of bounds. Ravenwood will get possession.
And you really expected the Knights to turn up the most when the time was running low, and they haven't. They've had careless turnovers here, giving the ball back to Ravenwood for free, not even making them work for it. Nolensville is not putting on the performance we expected. Coach Gedice is not going to be happy with how his team has performed here late in the clutch and throughout this entire game.
Lead cut to 11 there as the Raptors break the pressure by the Knights.
Brent with 11, Ravenwood, numerous starters over 10 points, and it looks like that's going to be the dagger for the Raptors. I don't see Nolensville making this 11-point comeback in just a minute and 42 seconds where they can't get anything going. A Nolensville possible comeback turning into a Ravenwood breakaway win with a minute and 40 remaining in this fourth quarter in this rivalry split by Split Log Road.
Well, the Knights are going all in on defense and committing pressure, and what they're doing, they're leaving a man open underneath. There's a big 3 to cut it to 8. But with just over a minute to go, again, there's a man open underneath, but Ravenwood's going to pass it around. We're going to have to commit a foul here. There's the foul by Johnson.
Nolensville still doing everything in their power to make this comeback, though unlikely. 8 points, a minute and 16 remaining. They're going to do anything they can. It's going to see a lot of three-pointers down the stretch here. You're going to look at McKelvey. You're going to look at number 14, Beckett Gray, and Carroll. It's going to be a tough stretch and a long minute and 16. The Knights not able to force any turnovers on Ravenwood right now, not giving themselves a shot without a foul here.
So your score with just over a minute, Ravenwood 49, Nolensville 41. Jump ball. Hall had to climb the ladder there just to even get his hands on the ball.
They're running football routes out here.
So possession arrow is going to stay with Ravenwood, but that was a good play for Hall to flip the arrow.
Steppen looking to inbound. Number 10, Beckett Williams fouled. He's now going to get a couple shots for the Raptors. Raptors looking to make it a 10-point game with just 1:11 remaining.
First basket falls. That's going to push the lead to 9. Carroll checks back in for the Knights.
Ravenwood looking to pull off the regional upset to push Nolensville down to 0-2 in the region in their first 2 games against Brentwood and Ravenwood.
Second shot is up and it's good. Lead now 10. Carroll pushes it down, passes inside. Shot is up and it's good. Timeout. Nolensville lead 8 for the Raptors. Minute 2 left on the clock.
Beckett Gray really becoming a strong player for the Knights down the stretch here. He's making the crucial shots. He's got their last 5 points, keeping them in the game. It's still an 8-point game. There is still only a minute remaining, but Beckett Gray, one of the unsung heroes of this team, trying to keep this Knights team in the game. Ravenwood has done such a great job at forcing Nolensville into tough shots. You see the shot they just got, a hard mid-range cutting left. Nolensville, nothing is coming easy for them right now, and Ravenwood couldn't have it coming any easier. You see Coach Hooper there talking to his players, telling them, keep onto the ball, do not let Nolensville get a hand on it, and we will win this game. Let them foul you and keep pushing. Ravenwood going to do anything in their power to keep this ball out of the Knights' hand. We've seen some football routes. We've seen some quarterback throws here. Nolensville's looking to foul and get any 3 they can. 3s only for this Knights team down the stretch. 1 minute and 2 remaining. The Raptors 51, the visiting Knights 43. An 8-point lead for the home Raptors with 1 minute remaining.
Raptors complete the inbound, get it up court. Hall applies the pressure. McKelvey's there. .45 seconds left. Steppen in. Bangs the shot. Lead 10.
Nolensville was trying the foul there, and the refs still aren't calling it. A physical game being called from the refs. Steppen only 8 points after his 15 performance just the other night. No good on the 3 for Nolensville. Rebound twice, not good. Brody Cooper misses. Steppen gets the rebound out to White. White pushing up the court, and he's just going to hold it. And both of these teams are going to accept this final score. 53, Ravenwood 43. The visiting Knights, and Ravenwood is going to get a 10-point win as underdogs against the Nolensville Knights.
And there you have it, folks. Raptors pull away with a mild upset here, 53-43. Knights got some work to do as they enter region play. That was your doubleheader WCTV Game of the Week. First game, Lady Knights take it home. Second game, Raptors take it home. I'm Doug Capella with Jacob Hammer. We're signing off. Have a good holiday weekend, folks.